morning, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. Please welcome John Stringer. He's here with us as our special musical guest this morning. Give it up. And John, just for you, well, actually it's for our children, but also, please know that we have dressed the stage just for you. There you go, man.
It's so lovely, so lovely. So you all, some of you may be familiar with this song. It is a song to welcome each other. So as we sing this together, of course, welcoming love, welcoming each other, welcoming the mothers. That's what this is going to be about today. And all of us, all right? We'll sing it together. There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go. Trust the flow. There's a freedom and love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love. Welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. Be who you are. Let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's around you. All that you feel, all that you know, let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Yeah. You are welcome here. You are welcome. Look at somebody and say, you are welcome here. You are well. Now love is welcome here. Love is welcome here. Keep it going. Love is well. Joy is welcome here. Joy is welcome here. Joy is well. Peace is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. Welcome to love. Welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. Be who you are. Let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite.
goodness. Romeo. Good morning. Wow. And stuffed animals, too. Oh, my God. We're having our graduating ceremony for all of the children in our youth department today, so that's going to be fun. But welcome. Happy Mother's Day. And I want to say Happy Mother's Day to anyone who has physically given birth to a child. Happy Mother's Day to anyone who has a fur baby. And happy Mother's Day to any of you out there who have ever fostered, mothered, supported, lifted, encouraged, and reminded an individual in this lifetime how much they matter and help them on their evolution. So we honor you today. I just want to make sure that each and every one of you are acknowledged and appreciated today. So, with all of the beautiful spring activities and the things that are happening today, I just want to draw your attention to this guy who happens to be back. And please welcome David Aurelio back home.
Good morning. I can't be on time. Thank you. I feel like breaking into bridge over troubled water.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
It's the
Thank
thing.
you, everyone. Thank you for your emails, your calls, your cards. I mean, it meant the world to me. As many of you may or may not know, my dad got ill very quickly, fell first, and then thought we were having a stroke, then went into seizures, then went into something else. He's been in rehab. It's just been an ongoing journey. And what I'm realizing is how, as you know, I have a tendency to plan and want to plan and get something, let's get this plan and get it in place. I have to breathe into this next level of our lives, and that's going to be every day the plan changes. Every day I've got to kind of roll with it and how he's doing. I'm respectful of a gentleman who's 89 who said to me, I want to keep my independence as long as I possibly can. And so I'm honoring that, but we've had some serious conversations about no more car. We can't do that, and I will do what I can to keep your independence, but your health and safety are first, and if that means whatever I've got to do, we got to do. So he's willing to work with me on that if I'm willing to meet him halfway. So I'm doing the best I can, and that's going to mean a lot of support from you, and I thank you so much, because as I said, it's not been an easy process, so I'm just navigating my way through. So a special thank you to, she was at first service, but I want to say her name, Teresa Pelage, who does the caregiver support group for us. And if you have not taken advantage of that opportunity, I encourage you to do so, because she's been amazingly helpful to me as far as resources, both here and in Ohio, as I'm looking for things. So thank you to Teresa and to that. The care ministry reached out all the time. This man right here, instrumental in allowing me to take the time that I needed to do to be with my dad and focus on that. Special thanks also to Nathan and to Lane, and the whole staff actually, because they involved me into stuff that I needed to be involved in, and then also gave me the time to breathe and do what I needed to do there. So thank you to all of you guys. And I am back. I have no clue what's going on today, but I'm gonna fake it like a good actor. So first and foremost, happy Mother's Day, ladies. And if you have not gotten your flower, please do so on the way out. We want to commemorate the day for you, but we also want to make sure that you have something that shows that you are loved by all of us. And so please take them on your way out. And I'm sure we'll have extras. So if you want to take some extras, if you want to take them to some nursing homes or some other things, I know from firsthand experience those people would love it. So please join us with that. Glee is having a bake sale today. If you haven't gotten something good to eat, do so on the way out, because you'll help the efforts for our gay and lesbian group as far as for gay pride. So please join us for that. And we've got a big program that we do every year. It's called I Squared. Lane is going to give us some more information about that. Lane, come up on the bridge.
This is cool. I want to graduate next year. Okay. If you haven't noticed the table outside, we are promoting our increased income program. And on the table outside, you can pick up one of these flyers, and you can also sign up to participate. One of the questions I got is, how much does this program cost me? Nothing. This is a free program for you. The practitioners are waiting to support you in having unexpected income in the month of June. And this flyer explains how you enjoy 90% of that and then tithe that 10% to your spiritual home. So we hope you'll participate. I'll be out of the table after the service to answer any questions you might have and also to sign you up. And for those of you on live stream or to any of you who don't sign up today, you can sign up online. So please participate in our increased income program. Sometime sign up in the month of May. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going back up on the bridge. So, and then also we've got a great opportunity. Our marketing group is going to be doing a community survey, which all of you need to take part in, and I encourage you all to do so. Tell us more about that is the president of the board, Lee Valentine. Lee, come up on the bridge.
Boy, I feel nervous. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome, and as David Aurelio said, we are launching a survey for all of our SLCA members, former members, wannabe members, thinking about being a member, and that actually is launching today. And if you are a member of or on any one of our email distribution lists, so for SLCA, for SLI, you will get an email sometime in the next day or two with a link to an online survey. Because as David mentioned, after our leadership alignment workshop we had here at SLCA about a couple of months ago, we chartered a market planning team, which is being led by one of our members, Joe Labriola, and he has assembled a dream team consisting of several board members, practitioners, staff members, volunteers at large. And the purpose is to collect information from you, our spiritual community, to help us determine how we can serve you better. Much like if you went to Home Depot on your way home today, chances are when you look at the receipt as you're walking back to your car, it'll have a little message there saying, if you'd like to complete an online survey to give us information about your experience, please log on to such and such. So it's the same thing with us. SLCA, we are a service provider. You are our customers, and we want to hear what you like that you're experiencing today, so we can do more of that. What you maybe don't like, so we'll do a little bit less of that. And some things that we don't do that might enhance your spiritual experience, your spiritual awakening. So two of our volunteers, members of the Dream Team, Daniel and Candace, they will be staffing a table in the back after second service. So if you're old school and want to do the survey with pencil and paper, you're welcome to do that as well. So by all means, I encourage you to stop by. You can take a look at the survey, even if you plan on completing it online. You can see what the questions are. But we appreciate your time, your input, your feedback, because it is extremely valuable to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any new folks joining us for the very first time today? If you could raise your hands high in the sky. Could you stand on up so we could welcome you officially to the community? Welcome to all of you. Welcome. Great to have you here. We've got, stay standing because we've got a special CD case. We got, anyone over here? This gentleman needs a CD case.
Hey, Lane, can you help?
So anyways, what you're receiving is a free gift from us to you. It's one of Reverend Dr. David Ault's talks especially selected for you. So please take that to the welcome visitors table, and we can make sure you get something to remember us by. And we have our next new member orientation on the 14th of June. So if you'd like to join us, I know you'll be here every weekend after this. You'll just be so enticed. So please come back and join us on the 14th and learn anything you'd ever want to know. Thank you so much. If you can take this opportunity to shut off any cell phones, I'd be so grateful, because it went off a couple times and I'm on edge right now. So it's just been that kind of week. So have a great day. Thanks so much. Happy Mother's Day.
Also, a reminder, too, you might see an extra envelope inside of your program that's got a little heart on there. We have a special fund drive in order to enhance our broadcasting technology. And so if you are inclined and want to put a little extra in other than your normal tithes and donations, all of those funds, if they're in this envelope, will be designated for that. And since announcing that last week, we're already 1/6 of the way through. So, yay, thank you so much. I invite you to stand with your programs. On the inside is called our Declaration of Principle, and I invite you to read that with me. I believe in one God, one absolute power and first cause to all things. I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love. I believe that all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience. I believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all. Remain standing. Our song this month is on the inside of your program, on the handout. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start my day, knowing good is on my way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Turn to those around you and say good morning and welcome. All right, we're going to start. Hey. Just relax. Just relax. Smile, smile. All right. So we are excited to introduce these lovely beings, each of them graduating to a new level within our children's department. And here to tell you more is our amazing director, Mary Jane Levante.
These wonderful children. We have about 20 that showed up today. So, am I not using? Not used to this, you can tell. Okay, we have a lot of new kids in the nursery, and 3 of them are here today, and I'm going to name them all. But Halo Bryant, come first. Where's Miss Lynette? This is Halo Bryant. Is she not adorable? So these are just new to the nursery. Okay, the next one is Henry Byrne. Keep going. Henry Byrne.
Come on.
Come here, Henry. This way, sweetheart. Right this way, sweetheart.
Our board president felt the same way, honey. Come on over. Come on.
And the next one is Asher McIntosh. Come on.
Yay.
Go see Miss Lynette. Yeah. And the other ones that we have that are new that are not here are Kaylin Henry.
Wow.
And Pierce Weber. Those are not here today. All right, now this one young lady is moving up to the 4 to 6. This is Ia Sabrina Diaz. And this one is pure love. All my teachers keep telling me she's pure love. This is Stella, but her name is Estella Arantes. Yeah, she'll get a gift. The next one is Haven Bryant, who had a little brother or little sister in the nursery. This is Haven Bryant. She's a new student. Okay, and this is Serenity. I hope I say your last name right. Mabon? Mabon. Okay, this is Serenity. Okay. And now this is another 4 to 6. Her name is Lily. This is another Macintosh. And this is Freddie Penny.
Yay!
And this is our little, I always called her my little fairy. She always dressed in tutus. This is a young lady that's moved up to the 7 to 9 class. And this is Sofia Corrales. And then we have a new one here that it's a whole family of 4 that are wonderful. This is Kiera Lawrence. And this is another family member. This is Truth Mabon. And then we have JB. Now he's let me see, where's your name, JB? I know you're here. All right. Let me find it because I couldn't say your last name. It's Leiva. How do you say your last name? Leiva. Leiva. Okay, this is JB Leiva. 79. There he is. I found him. Okay. Next one out here is a young man that just went up to the 10 to 12 age group. This is Jason Peterson. This is one of our famous artists. This is Real Reed Love. He's moved up to the 10 to 12. Yes. And this is Akil Lawrence. This is the family of 4 I was telling you about. Yes. Now we're going this, I don't know if David wants to announce it or me, the 13 to 14. We started a new group called the 13 to 14 group, and not in the 15 to 19, 18 now. So this is a new group we have, and we have about 5 or 6 students moving into that age group. And this is Jabari Lawrence.
Woo!
And we have another special, this is Jalen.
Yay, Jalen.
She has really grown up fast. I've known this one since a little tyke. And then we have Carol Ann McCullough.
Yay, Carol Ann.
There's a number of them not present today, but I won't take the time. So thank you so much. Oh,
Quick.
we have a lending library now, and I wanted to show you the books. We have a theme of planting a seed, and we have 4 or 5 just on planting the seeds here. This one's planting a kiss. And we all do this at home, so that's an important thing. We know we're planting seeds. And this is when they're asleep, you know, when the plants are being planted. They're already in the ground, but the kids get to see each seed. And then this one is also what's going on underneath the ground with the worms and all the stuff that happens. So we have a great lending library, and I hope you'll all use it. Thank you.
What else is going on, Mary Jane?
Oh, last thing. First time, Penelope and I have been trying for 2 years. We're working on a summer camp for our children. For one Sunday out of the one summer week, July 6th through the 10th. And we're working on that, and we have lots of activities planned. We're going to bring this book to life that one of our practitioners, Jean Bell, wrote called Brookie's Adventure. And we're putting all that together with song and dance, and they're 7 to 12-year-olds. So if you're interested, please see Penelope and me today.
Yeah, please register your children this afternoon. That would be great.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mary Jane.
And so we're going to invite all of the children to come sit under the bridge. And we're going to do the flames of faith together with the children. So I invite each and every one of you out there to get positioned and comfortable. The flames of faith is our way of taking the idea of oneness and implementing it through ritual. And what I want you to know is that Mary Jane has been doing this ceremony in all of the different departments as well. So the adults do it and the children do it. So today we're going to do it together. So as we dim the lights and we look at the candles that are to my side, I want you to remember that we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence which we call spirit. And fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious and spiritual thought that we experience and honor here today. So as you look up at these candles, I invite you to pick one to start with. And that first candle represents the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium known as the natural way. Second is the candle that represents all of the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples known as the way of primal spirituality. Number 3 is the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Fourth is the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle represents all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle represents all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. And 7 is the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. The 8th candle is for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. And the 9th candle represents all forms of what we call New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And in honor of today, the commemoration of Mother's Day, I would like for you to pick the 10th candle, and here is what I want to invite you to do. Regardless of whatever your history was, with the origin of your birth, be it loving, be it antagonistic, whatever experience might have been in your formative years, I would ask that you take the 10th candle and let it be the divine feminine, and that you place into that candle all of the healing, all of the fulfillment, all of the joy, all of the love, all of the nurturing that represents that, and take that for yourself as you gaze into that flame, and we pause for a moment of silence. And so it is. Thanks, children. Thank you so much for being with us. Please give them a round of applause. And here to lead us in our affirmative prayer is our practitioner for this morning, Victoria Peoples.
Wonderful morning we have had thus far, right? Just feel the love in this room. And I just want to take a quick moment just to give thanks to all the mothers for allowing Spirit to express itself and manifest itself through you as your sons and as your daughters. Because without you all, none of us would be here. Thank you. Let us all be still. If you have anything on your laps, please take them off and just be still in spirit and feel the love and the presence that is God, the universe, the great I am. Any name in which you choose to call the one who inhabits eternity. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, life. I know that there's only one life, and I know that that life is God. I know that that life is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing. And that life flows through, in, and as me. There's this invisible and biblical cord, and out of which all blessings flow. Not only through and for me, but for everyone in this room and anyone who comes to mind. We are all living, moving, breathing expressions of the Most High God. And through this umbilical cord, we experience perfect love, peace, joy, beauty, abundance, all that is good, all that is divine, all that is God itself. I am that I am. And I give thanks for that. I give thanks for the everlasting nurturing that we all experience throughout our life as we continue to unfold and spiral upward and onward and to our greater yet to be. We are always nurtured. We are always loved. That umbilical cord will never be severed, will never be cut. It cannot be. It is eternal. I give so much thanks for that. How great thou art. And I know that this service has already been full and is still filled with all that is good. And that the words that come from Reverend David will fall on fertile soil, fertile soil. And it's good, good, and oh, so good. I give thanks for all the volunteers, for all the membership, for everyone in this congregation, in this center, that makes up who and what we are in God. Take another deep breath. Relax in that breath, relax in that knowing, be still and know that all is good, good, and oh, so good. And together we say, and so it is.
I breathe the love of God through me with every prayer. I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every breath, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me.
Details.
It's funny, I used to have roadies, believe it or not. They'd help with that kind of thing back in the day.
Boy, those were the days, weren't they,
Those were
John?
the days.
Please welcome again, John Stringer.
I'm going to get a system to make that easy. We'll work on that. So I invite you to breathe with me. We're going to use this as a song as a meditation. And was sitting there thinking about what I wanted to say when I was going to come up, and it is escaping me. But I'll tell you really quickly, the surrender to the divine love that's all around us, that we are at all times, is just waiting for us to say yes. And all we have to do is let go of those traumas, those conditioned thinkings, those limitations, lack, the blocks, the things that tell us that we have to be small or hurt or victim or that we can't live our hopes and our dreams. So that's what this song's about, letting go and saying yes.
Wanna say thank you for the way you gently open my eyes. No matter what I do, your love is always coming through. When I look in any situation and I say yes, I say yes. Spirit, I say yes to your love. Oh yes, oh yes. You created me fearlessly and wonderfully to be your instrument. Use me, use me. I surrender in this moment. Let me be your eyes. Let me be your hand. Let me be your voice. I give you everything I can. And I say yes, yes. Mother, I say yes, yes. Father, I say yes to your love. Oh yes, oh I say yes. Surrender, I say yes. My head. Let my soul be your vessel. Let my spirit be your temple. Yes, yes. Take my hands, do what you will, and take my voice, do what you will, and take my all. Do what you will and let your love flow through me. Oh, take my hands. Do what you will and take my voice. Do what you will and take my all. Do what you will. Let your love flow through me. Sing it with me again. Take my hands. Do what you will and take my voice. Do what you will and take my all. Do what you will. Let your love flow through me. One more time, come on. Take my hands, everything I am. Take my voice, everything I have. flow through me. I know you know the plans to prosper me, to give me hope and a future, and I say yes. I surrender. I say yes.
Thank you, Mother, Father, Spirit.
Wow. Thank you so much, John. Thank you. Just breathe for a moment. What is it that you say yes to? I was sitting there and I was thinking, there's a difference between the innocence that we see so beautifully displayed in these children. And have you noticed that as they grow in height, sometimes that innocence begins to dissipate? And then we get to us. And we go, where'd it go? What happened? And there's a difference between being a highly functioned wounded person and being innocent. And it's interesting when we are able to get honest with ourselves and to see how brilliantly our high-functioning woundedness has gotten us through things. It's helped us survive. It's been very tenacious in order for us to pick ourselves up and to continue on. But it isn't necessarily the highest and best platform by which to do life. And we are asked time and time again to find those ways to chip away from the highly functioning woundedness of us and to get to a place where we return to the innocence, because it is the innocence and the energy of that which possesses the genius. And you see, what are you here to do but to express your genius and to get back into touch with that? These first 3 weeks of May, I wanted to do something different with regards to the theme around creativity. And I gave you an equation or a formula last week where I reminded everybody that we all have talent, right? We all have innumerable talents, in fact. And a talent in and of itself isn't enough, because even the highly functioning wounded can express their talent. But when you take that talent and you infuse it with something that you are passionate about, passion which is pure, which hasn't been tainted, which possesses the flame and the energy and the vibration of innocence, and when you take that passion and you interweave it with your talent, then what becomes of us are vessels of creativity. And the theme is creativity, and returning to that creativity and understanding that it didn't leave us, that what we are actually returning to is something that is inherently a part of us. So we are returning to the divine idea of our creativity and to our genius. So talent plus passion is equal to igniting the fire of our creativity. And so when you look at that equation, talent and creativity, what's that middle part? Passion. What happened? What happened to our passion? What happened to that innocence that crosses the bridge and notices things and is highly absorbent to all of the creativity? What happened to that passion? I ask you to go inward for a moment and to look at where you are with regards to the honoring of passion, which looks like this. When a divine idea comes up, you don't shoo it away. You go, that's interesting. Tell me more. Tell me more, divine presence inside of me. Show me more. Enlighten me. I'm willing to listen. And so we get to look at what happened to that. Because children are that perfect example. They are often the first ones to remind us of the ceremony of the candle about oneness. When we study the science of mind and the teachings of our founder, Ernest Holmes, there's a wonderful chapter in the large textbook of the science of mind about mysticism. And he defines mysticism as an occurrence where the individual has a full acknowledgement of the oneness of all things. A full acknowledgement of the oneness of all things. What does that mean? There's no margin in there whatsoever for separation, for less than or better than. There is a complete and total compatibility with all of life. And we study about all of the famous mystics and what happened to them and this moment of enlightenment. You can read about it even in biblical scripture about Saul on the way to Damascus has this image, this bright light that blinds him, and he was reminded of his human smallness and his earthly divinity, his heavenly divinity, and to absorb that and to allow that divinity to become him. So he leaves the identity of Saul and becomes Paul. We hear about the mystical experiences of the great Ralph Waldo Emerson and of Henry David Thoreau, and even our own founder Ernest Holmes, who had a moment of clarity and a great vision of light that surrounded him. It says that with all mystical moments, there is this illumination, this bright light. And it says in that particular chapter of our big textbook that all of us are mystics. That even if you can't remember such a magnanimous event, that it probably happened when you and I were children. And in our innocence, whether we were outside and just staring into the face of a flower or lying on our backs looking up at the clouds, there was a moment that we were carefree. There was a moment where there was no such thing as timetables and duties and responsibilities. That all that existed in that moment was the beauty and the tranquility of nature and of heaven and of earth and the combination and the harmony and the unity of all. And if we were to reflect back, we would know that such an event had occurred. And so if that is true, in that space of innocence and allowing, then each and every one of us are mystics. And mysticism is the platform whereby we ignite the genius inside of us, the genius living that comes with our creativity. And so we always have to ask, what happened? What happened to us? And what I realize is not just one thing happened. Not just one thing happened. But it was a culmination of false ideas, a culmination of indoctrination into the world of effect. It was a culmination of domestication, where we began to marginalize our thinking and ourselves by the way in which those around us did. And over time, through this compound effect, we got to a place where we forgot who we were. We forgot our innocence. We forgot our genius. And we forgot that we were essentially a part of the all, a part of God. How often do we tell you that? Who you are is a vessel of God. And that every attribute of God is the attribute of you. And so I found this beautiful little story that is very appropriate for the day that we celebrate. And it was in Mother Earth News. And it goes like this. In a mother's womb were two babies. One asked the other, "Do you believe in life after delivery?" The other replied, "Why, of course, there has to be something after delivery. Maybe we are here to prepare ourselves for what will be later." "Nonsense," said the first. "There is no life after delivery. What kind of life would that be?" The second said, "I don't know, but there will be more light than here. Maybe we will walk with our legs and eat from our own mouths. Maybe we will have other senses that we can't even understand right now." The first replied, "That is absurd. Walking is impossible, and eating with our own mouths? Ridiculous. The umbilical cord supplies nutrition and everything that we need, but the umbilical cord is so short that life after delivery is to be logically excluded." The second insisted, Well, I think there is something, and maybe it's different than it is here. Maybe we won't need this physical cord anymore. The first replied, nonsense. And moreover, if there is life, then why has no one ever come back from there? Delivery is the end of life. And in the after delivery, there is nothing but darkness and silence and oblivion. It takes us nowhere. Well, I don't know, said the second, but certainly we will meet Mother and she will take care of us. The first replied, Mother? You actually believe in Mother? That's laughable. If Mother exists, then where is she now? The second said, she is all around us. We are surrounded by her. We are of her. It is in her that we live. Without her, this world would not and could not exist. Said the first, well, I don't see her. So it is only logical that she doesn't exist. To which the second replied, sometimes when you're in silence and you focus and you really listen, you can perceive her presence and you can hear her loving voice calling down from above. And so I ask you, where did we forget what our origin was? Where did we forget to listen to the truth of our own being? So I've been spending a great deal of wonderful quality time with the amazing Dr. Will Coleman, and it's part camaraderie and part mentorship. And you know, we were talking about our paths, and eventually we got around to the topic of mother. And he was sharing with me how in his path, when he got his PhD, that he went home to visit his family, and his grandmother insisted on taking him out to lunch to celebrate the fact that he had gotten this PhD, which in their family was such a huge event. And so she took him to the local chicken drive-through place. And she marched him inside and she said, this is my grandson, and he has a PhD. And proceeded to buy him his chicken dinner. And he said, and you know what? It wasn't my PhD, it was her PhD. It was my entire family's PhD. And so when we were discussing the different dynamics, and I was discussing that woman of mine named Genevieve, who was my mother, you know, and how I've done so much in my life to rise above. He just threw his head back and laughed. He goes, oh, please. He goes, Genevieve's in there. And he's pointing to me, and I said, He goes, absolutely. And he's right, you know, because we have fallen under the impression that if we move away far enough, that if our high-functioning woundedness is in full operation, that we can distance ourselves from anything that was painful in our childhood. But he said, no, there's no leaving that. There is no closure. We take with us the heritage, the DNA, all of the attributes of that. Some come to life and some sit there. But you and I get to decide. And I was thinking about that, you know, the fact that all of my relatives died in their 50s. And here my mom, mean as a snake, lived to be 90 years old. And I reflected back on that, and I thought, you know, when she was a widow with 5 children, that woman would somehow pull it together. And he goes, you carry that with you, that tenacity. When that tenacity shows up in you, that's Genevieve. And I thought about her later years, and my father having passed away, and then her second husband that she married when I was entering into high school, married 25 years, and then he passed away. And in her later years, financially, because that had all been set up for her through my stepfather. And he goes, that ability to take care of herself in her later years is the part of you that can take care of you. You see, you don't distance yourself from the thing that gave you life. You carry with you all of those, and then you begin to pick and choose which are the conscious parts that I want to bring to the surface and give air to, and what are the unconscious parts that I just want to let sit and stay. But you carry it all with you. And so whatever your story is around this, and it was funny because on the ministerial listserv for Centers for Spiritual Living, there were lots of opinions about what to do for a Mother's Day service. You know, it was all this thing about don't have people stand because all the women who couldn't have children are going to feel bad. And all of these people who had terrible mothers are going to feel bad. And all the ones who had loving mothers are going to, outshine those who are still working with their issues. And it was like exhausting. But I want you to know that to your right and to your left is an amazing story. A story that is encapsulated in a live human being. And in their story might be something very different than your experience. And this day might actually be painful for them. And I want you to pause for a moment and just in your own form and fashion, let this wave of heart understanding reach out to those people and know that what we end up becoming is that permissive mothering instinct, the archetype of the divine feminine for ourselves. What does that mean? We give birth, rebirth, to the new consciousness of ourselves. And sometimes that happens earlier on, and sometimes it happens when we are a fully functioning adult. But that everybody is having that experience in their right and perfect time. Can you understand that? Can you understand that the person next to you might have an extraordinary story that could be very different than yours? But on a day such as this, no one is left out. All of us reach the culmination of what it is that we're celebrating, which is the vehicle of life. But we're all reaching it how? In varying different paths. And so one path in one way is not more conventional or appropriate than the other. Some of you don't even know who your birth mother was. And there are other people who had to become the mother very early on in that family. And so you see, when we take all of these different relations and we blend and bring them together, we understand that we are constantly renewing ourselves through the renewal of our mind. So we are not highly functioning wounded people. We are people who are day by day returning and embracing the creativity, the genius, the innocence of who and what we are. The last 2 days were so beautiful that I got the bug to work out in my yard, which was long overdue. And so I went and bought some tomato plants. And as I was getting these, I decided to cheat a little bit and get the ones that had already had a really good start. And so when I was turning them around, sure enough, there were some of them had the little tiny green circles forming already. And flashback, I was back to my childhood. I was about 6. And we had gotten some tomatoes. Maybe a neighbor gave them to us or something, some tomato plants. And my mother said, go on. She just told me to go and do whatever I wanted to with them. So I went into our postage stamp sized backyard and I began to dig these little holes and put these tomato plants in the yard. And I sat and I waited, like for something to happen. And every day I would water them, and every day I would pull away the grass and rearrange the dirt, and I would just stare at them. And after about a week and a half, I began to notice these little white, little blossoming flowers that were sort of popping out, and I didn't know what they were. And I went in and I asked my mom to come and look. And she came outside and she stood there and she goes, I don't know, could be a parasite. And so I wasn't sure what a parasite was, but it sounded bad. So I would pick the little white blossoms off of the tree, and then I would wait. And I would wait. And then some more of those little insistent parasites would want to bloom, and I would go and I would pick them off. And I would pick them off and I would wait. And as you can imagine, over time I got very disappointed by the fact that these tomato plants were terrible. And it must be really hard to grow tomatoes. Except for the fact that in the back of one of those plants, one of those little white little things escaped my vision, and lo and behold, about a week and a half later, there was the tiny little green bud of a tomato. And I realized what I had done. I realized what I had done. I realized the misinformation that my mother had given me. And I wonder if you realize the misinformation that has been given you. None of you are a parasite. All of you are those blossoms. And yet, because of the information that has been given us, what have we done? Time and time again, we have gone in and systematically picked those off and wondered, where's my tomato? That tomato is your knight in shining armor. That tomato is your dream job. That tomato is that career that you've longed for. That tomato is your creativity. And the reality is that the creativity, the bud of your genius, has never left. So let us today stop picking it away and allow it to have breath and allow it to have sun and allow it to have our undivided attention, so that we can be and fulfill exactly who it is that we came here to be. So in our book this month, which is called Creativity on Demand by Michael Gelb, he showed us that a lot of what happens with the ignition of our creativity that's been dormant is because there's blocked energy in our body. And I wanted to be creative with this presentation so that somehow, even if you don't do anything with this information after you leave, that you have an experience in this room that is tangible, that is applicable to what it is that we're talking about. And so I wanted our beloved Dr. Baji to come back up, because last week she did such a beautiful job in the exercises that are in this book in awakening that chi, that energy. And she's going to give us a little bit more of the same. Welcome back, Dr. Baji. Good. Here we go.
Let's just see what it feels like to access the genius that's already been planted in the universe for us to use. And so I'm going to share two exercises that are in this magnificent book. They have illustrations in there and all. I'll give you two, actually three, because the first one is just the posture of relaxation. So you can remain seated for a minute, but sit straight so your spine is erect. But relax. Your feet are firmly planted on the floor, which connects you to earth energy. And I want you to, if you are a female, to place your right hand over the dantian, which is about 2 inches below your navel. Men place the left hand first and then cover it with the other hand. So you're actually touching your body. And just get in touch with that power center, the Dantian. It's like a storehouse of the vital energy, the vital chi. You can close your eyes and relax right now. And we're going to do conscious breathing. 3 repetitions. We'll take a conscious slow breath in. We'll take a very slow conscious exhalation. But the way we're going to do it is that when you breathe in, you're going to allow the abdomen to get bigger. Big belly. So inhale, big belly. Slowly, gently pressing it in. Release the breath. 2 more times. Inhale. And release. Nice and slow. Breathe in, big belly. And press it in, releasing. And let your hands come up into the prayer posture, right in front of the sternum. Relax your elbows. Try to just stay in a relaxed state. No tension, no rigidity in the body. And what we're doing now is contacting the genius. We're going to pull it in. So slowly bring the hands down, down, down. And then open them up. And bring them forward again. So you're focused on the center fingers. Just relax and breathe just as you were breathing before. But what you're doing is sending energy down into the Dantian. Shoot the energy into your Dantian. It's like fire. So we're cultivating chi. If you were at home, you could do this standing. You would have your feet shoulder distance apart and very loose knees. You even kind of push the knees out, so it's called a horse stance. And you would just send that energy right into the Dantian, firing it up. Bring your palms back together and back into the prayer posture. And now bring the hands straight out in front of you and lift them up. Bring them up over your head. And last week we had the hands open. This week, that center finger is touching. And turn the hands outward. Now, as you stand or sit in this posture, again, if you were standing, the knees would still be loose. I want to bring into my mind, and I invite you to do the same, the thought of dry leaves. And each dry leaf is a symbol of a limiting thought that I carry within me. So think of an idea that you may be holding. Maybe that you're not enough. Maybe that your body is not strong. Maybe that there's a limit on your prosperity. Maybe you're in anger and unforgiveness, whatever it is. It's a limiting thought. And with that limited thought, we block the genius energy from moving inside and allowing the full creativity of our being. So what we want to do now is to just drop one dry leaf. So just let it float down from your finger, down. It's dropping into the incinerator of the Dantian. And once it gets right there, it will burn. We're not destroying it. We are transmuting that energy. So it transforms and it rises back up and it joins the universal energy. So we can pull the vital energy, the force of it back inside of us as we continue to release another leaf, another dry leaf. So you would just stand or sit in the privacy of your own home, safe place, and you would do this conscious work. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. Just do it. Be willing. Bring the palms together. Stretch the hands out. Let them drop back down to your heart space, into a prayer position. And always end each one of the practices with just the consciousness of gratitude. And if you were standing, you would lean to the right, close your stance. Let the hands just gently descend. Take a cleansing breath in and out. We are complete. Namaste.
If you would acknowledge Baji. Baji is teaching her amazing Tai Chi here at SLCA on, is it Tuesday nights? Tuesday nights. So you might want to check with her and see. Thank you so much, and so it is. I invite our ushers to prepare for our offering. And I also want to, is she still here? She's not. Okay. I want to ask Becky Booth if she would come up and lead us in our offering today. And as she does, you can prepare yourself for that.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a privilege to come here every Sunday, and like so many people have said, by the end of the week, you're drained, not just from work, but from just being. And I come here every Sunday and I get refilled, not just by David, but by all of you, the friends I've made, and the new ones that I continue to make as I come here every Sunday. Join with me in our affirmation for grateful giving. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
And now, Becky, would you like to sing with us? No. Kid.
Pass.
Please welcome again John Stringer. Come on, John.
Anybody got a timer? Let's see how quickly I can get this together.
I don't know. You may have a roadie out there who wants to go on the road with you or something. You and Kathy and the family. Hey, Kathy. That
That's
would be
right. So glad you mentioned that. We're going on the road together. I've always dreamed of taking my family on tour. Got to tour the world with a band. That was my family at the time, but now I get to take my wife and my kids. Such a blessing, so I'm very, very grateful. We are going to sing a song about love. That's what this day is about. That's what our lives are about. And I want to tell you one quick thing. If you ever think about when a baby's born, like when we saw that little baby come up, everybody's like, oh, in that moment when you see an infant or a baby, it's just something special, right? But what do they do to deserve that? They just exist, right? It's when we birth our son and he comes out, and that instant connection Kathy had and that sense of love and magic. It's like, what did he do to deserve that? Just is. And that's the beauty of our lives. We are worthy of beauty, of love, of bliss by the fact that we exist. And our passion is how we fulfill that. That's what we get in touch with, that love, to really live the lives we're meant to live. That's what this is about.
When your soul feels the passion, rises up in the magic. When your joy overflows and you're filled with compassion, that's love. That's love. What you see and what you learn, that's not the ultimate concern. It's what you choose to think and be. Feel the truth that sets you free. That's love. Yeah, yeah. That's love. Allow go ahead and get out the way. Let your light turn into day. Allow love to take control. It's about what moves your soul. Yeah, yeah. What moves your soul. That's love. Yeah. That's love. When you offer forgiveness and let go of resistance, when you seek to understand and you lend a helping hand, that's love. Alright. Go ahead and get out the way. Allow love to take control. It's about what moves your soul. Yeah, yeah. What moves your soul. That's love. It's the reason for being here. Just like you deserve it all. It's the spirit that is giving. Listen now. Can you hear the call that's love? That's love. Yeah, that's love.
John Stringer.
Remain standing as our practitioners come forward. I invite our practitioners to come forward. Thank you so much. Do me a favor sometime today, tell somebody you love them as we sing our closing song together.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Have a great weekend, everybody. We love you so much.